Hello, I am Shanna Pyzer of Shanna Pyzer Coaching. Welcome to the last 90 days of 2025 workshop. Let's finish 2025 strong. So I originally did this workshop live in my Facebook group, and I had some technological difficulty. And also, I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. I also forgot to record. So here we are. I am redoing the workshop as a recording, and you probably didn't need to know any of that, but here we go anyway. So at the end of this video, I will be offering an opportunity for anybody watching to join a group. If you're watching this in October of 2025, I will end the video offering a group that you can join to help you implement all of this for the last 90 days of the year. And so I just wanted to put that out there. Again, I'm Shanna Pyzer. I have a podcast, the Christian Life Coach podcast. And I also wrote a 90-day, no, it's not, it's a 31-day devotional called Self-Care is Stewardship, a 31-day devotional. And so it is a devotional intended to help you to take better care of yourself and do it from a place of love, and so that it helps you to also take better care of you, so that you can also then turn around and take better care of those that you care about and the things that you care about. Okay, let's get started. So the last 90 days of 2025 Finish Strong workshop. There is also a super simple companion workbook that is linked in the notes wherever you're watching this. And you can download that workbook, and it has questions to kind of walk you through the process. Or you can do this in a notebook. You don't need to print it out. You can just read the questions and answer them in your own notebook. So I am a life coach, a podcaster, now an author. I'm a mom and a wife and a grandma, but I go by Lily. And I used to be a high school counselor, and now I do coaching, and I absolutely love it. My whole coaching, practice, everything that I do is basically anchored in the scripture Romans 12:2 that says, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." All of my coaching is kind of built on that as the foundation. I am a Christian life coach. I love Jesus with all my heart. The Bible is the it is the foundation of my life, and my goal is to honor God in everything that I do. Okay, so I kind of come at goal setting in a different way than some other people might or have in the past. And it's not about doing what you think that you should be doing what other people might think that you should be doing. I want you to choose something, and we'll be getting into it, and it's part of the lesson, but my desire is to help you to pick something to work on for the rest of the year that fuels your passion, something that you want to create, not that you have been trying to do for years because you think that you should do it. What do you really want that you can do in the next 90 days, or at least a portion of it that you can do in the last 90 days of this year? And when I talk about setting goals, working towards goals, it's not about white knuckling. It's not about relying on motivation. It's not about willpower. It's about aligning your heart and your habits with the identity that God already says that you are, the person that you already are. We want to be aligned. We want to live in congruence with who God created us to be. Now, I'm just going to walk right through the workbook. So if you have that pulled up, I kind of have my teaching notes and my workbook side by side. So we can just walk right through that together. And basically, because I am recording this video outside of actually doing the workshop, when I ask you one of the questions in the workbook, push pause on the video and actually answer the questions as we go along, because you might say that you'll do it later, but if you're like me, you probably won't. So I encourage you, if this isn't the time to sit down and write out the questions, maybe you want to put this off. Um, or if you're just listening to it to kind of think about it and then go back and listen to it again to walk through the questions. And by the end of this, you hopefully will know what you want, why it matters, and how to move towards it and create it, and who you're becoming in the process. So look at the reflection section of the workbook. And I want you to think back on the last 90 days, like 3 months or so, 6 weeks, like whatever. Think about the recent past, whether you set a goal or not. Think about the last 90 days. What went well? And you might want to scroll back through your pictures. You might want to go back to your calendar and see what was on your what's been on your calendar for the past 3 months. Like what did you do? And write down those things that went well. And it could be going on a trip with somebody, spending time with different people. If it was a goal that you're working on, what progress did you make on that goal, or what did you achieve? Did you buy something new that you absolutely love? Did you, like, whatever it is, what went well? And then what were your biggest wins? Like what is there to really celebrate that you accomplished in the last 90 days that you want to remind yourself of? And this is to reinforce those things that you're already doing, the things that you're already enjoying, to get your mind kind of thinking in a positive way and remembering what went well, how much you enjoyed it, and just reflecting and appreciating the life that you're living. And then the next question is, what felt heavy or draining? What were some of the things that you're like, oh, that I didn't enjoy that. Like that kind of sucked my energy. That felt heavy. It was a lot. And so if there was any of that, list those things out. And then what do you refuse to carry forward in the next season? What are you not bringing with you? What are you leaving in the past and not bringing with you into the next season? And all of this is for awareness. Awareness is the first step to owning your life, to owning your identity. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. And when we're reflecting back, even on what was heavy, what don't I want to bring forward, none of that is about judgment or shame. There's no room here for judgment or shame. It's all about growth and clarity. It's to understand better where you're at, why you're in the place that you're at, and just looking to understand without any judgment. No judgment, no shame. What is it? Romans 8:1, I believe, says, there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Jesus isn't condemning you, so there's no condemnation. And then moving on to the next section, what do you want? If nothing were off limits, if whatever you decided to do was guaranteed to be accomplished, what would you want to do in the next 90 days? And I left a little space in the workbook to kind of brainstorm, come up with several ideas. If you were guaranteed to be successful in this endeavor, what would I want to do in the next 90 days? Like, what would light my soul on fire? What would be so exciting to me and wonderful and make an impact on my life, and or help me to make an impact on other people's lives? And I love the Bible verses, Psalm 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires and petitions of your heart. Now, this is not saying that God is going to be a magic fairy and give you whatever you want. When you are delighting in him, when you are abiding closely with him and delighting in him, his desires for you are going to be planted in your heart. The things that you're asking for are coming from your close walk with him. And then Philippians 2:13, and these are both in the Amplified version. For it is not your strength, but it is God who is effectively at work in you, both to will and to work. That is strengthening, energizing, and creating in you the longing and the ability to fulfill your purpose for his good pleasure. I love that verse so much. I love it. So you've gone through and kind of brainstormed. Now decide, what are you deciding to create in this next 90 days? So you've made a list of kind of things that you would like to do if they were a guarantee that you would accomplish them. Now pick one of those things that you really want to focus on accomplishing over the next 90 days. And I want to add, because if you're listening to this in October, we're going into the end of the year and the holidays are coming up. You might have events. There are, things that are going to be happening. So thinking about that, thinking about the time of the year that we're coming into, where it might be a little bit busier than normal, consider that when you're making this decision and what you want to accomplish, because we always, when we're setting a goal, the goal is to achieve the goal and be successful. It's not to set ourselves up for failure. So really think through, like, is this goal something that I really am going to prioritize even during the holiday season? So you want to think ahead and set yourself up for success. And then are you setting a process goal or an outcome goal? A process goal is what you're going to do, and an outcome goal is what am I going to achieve? So a process goal might be, I am going to become a person who moves my body 30 minutes a day. That's a process goal. This is what I'm going to do every day. And I know that because I'm doing this every day, it's going to improve my health. It's going to lower my blood sugar. It's going to help my heart. I'm going to change my body composition a little bit. And so that's a process goal. An outcome goal is, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. And then these are all the ways I'm going to do it. And those are the ways that you're going to achieve that goal are your smaller process goals. So is the goal that you're setting, just kind of to get it straight in your own mind, is it a process goal or is it an outcome goal? And now here's a super important part of goal setting that we often leave out and we miss, and we're missing a super important part of it. Why does it matter to me that I achieve this goal? Why does it matter to me that I am a person who walks 20 minutes a day? And so there's the question in the workbook is, why does this matter to me? Why does it matter to my family? Why does it matter to my legacy? And then I left a lot of space here to create your why bank. And it's so great to have a lot of different reasons why, because your why is going to be what you rely on to get you to do the thing in the moment when you do not want to do the thing. Your why is going to be the thing that keeps you from going to the freezer at 8 p.m. to eat ice cream if your goal is weight loss and one of the things that you do is stop eating at 6 p.m. So your whys are so important. And the more you have, the better, because different whys are going to work better at different times. Your why has to be stronger than your excuse. And you have a lot of excuses, so you need a lot of whys. When your brain says, oh, just skip it this time, you want to remember why it matters that you don't skip it. Pursuing goals and taking the consistent action required is much more doable, and it's easier when your goal, when your reasons why are emotionally anchored. So when you have whys that have emotional attachment to them, they're going to be more powerful. And some of your whys are going to be really emotionally compelling, and some of them might feel a little bit frivolous, but sometimes those frivolous whys are going to work, like looking better in clothes, wearing a bathing suit, whatever it is. So just think about all the reasons why, the big whys and the small whys that might seem insignificant, but might be really helpful in certain moments. And then, how will I get there? How am I going to make this happen? What is it going to require of me? And in the workbook, I want you to reinforce, what is your why? In the next 90 days, I will, what the goal is, because, why it matters, and then the plan. And we usually go at this from a different angle. It's usually, okay, I have this goal. What do I need to do? What do I need to add? What do I need to start doing? And we're going to go at this a little bit different. We're going to start from a different angle. We want to know first, what am I already doing that is moving me towards this goal? What am I already doing that I can build on? And I might not be doing it super consistently or at the level that I want to be doing it at, but it gives me something to build on. So list out whatever that goal is. Think about what you're doing daily, weekly, consistently, or even periodically. What am I already doing that is going to move me closer and closer to being the person who does this thing? So what am I already doing? And then what do I want to stop doing? What am I doing consistently or periodically that is not helping me become a person who moves 20 minutes a day, a person who loses a certain amount of weight, a person who has a decluttered house, a person who is saving a certain amount of money, whatever the goal is that has the relationship that you want to have, whatever the goal is, what is something that you're doing that is getting in the way of that and that you want to stop doing or do even less frequently? You want to work on stopping it. And then what do I want to add or do differently? What else do I want to be doing to achieve this goal? Or what do I want to change? Is there something that I'm kind of doing, but I want to do it differently? And it's so that it's more effective, so that it helps me to move closer to this goal. And then when am I going to do these things? Where are they going to fit into your real life? And I like the idea of habit stacking. For me, one of the things that I talk about a lot is in the morning while my coffee is brewing, and I actually do French press coffee now. So I heat up the water in my tea kettle, I pour it in. So it's like a whole process. So I have some time between each of those steps. And so when the water is heating, I'm drinking my water. If I want to get my 100 ounces of water in every day, the most helpful thing that I can do is to drink a big chunk of that in the morning. So while my water is boiling for my coffee, my goal is to drink 32 ounces of water. So my big one big thing of water. So I habit stack. I put the water on to boil, and then I fill up my cup and I work on drinking my water. I also, while my coffee is brewing, I want to do 25 squats. So I'm habit stacking. Put the hot water on the stove, drink my water, do my squats, and then I do my devotional. And by then the water is usually boiling and I pour the water in. So what are you already doing in just your normal everyday life? Where could you fit in these things that you want to do to help you reach this goal? Where do they fit in? So what am I going to be doing, and when does it fit into my day? And then the obstacles. We want to think through the obstacles that we're going to encounter. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be external obstacles, people inviting you to go do things. There's going to be, I don't know, things come up, right? Plans get made. You get invited to go places, people visit, you travel. Like, so think ahead over these next 3 months. What are the obstacles that I expect are going to try to get in the way? What are those obstacles that I need to navigate in order to stay on track, to be consistent, to reach this goal? What are those obstacles? And then what is my strategy to navigate each obstacle? Because we know they're coming, and this way we can be prepared. We've already decided, oh, that's right, there's that obstacle. I already know what I'm doing to overcome it. So it's not a problem at all. And I will tell you, you probably already know this, but the most powerful obstacle is always going to be the way that you're thinking. If you believe it's too hard, you're going to avoid it. But when you plan ahead, the obstacles lose their power. And here's the magic for you. The creation cycle, which is the tool that I use most in my coaching. And I talk about it on the podcast, episodes, I think 32, 33, and 34 go through each part of the creation cycle. And this will help you navigate pretty much every single obstacle, because it all starts in your mind anyway. So the way that you think about your goal, the way that you think about yourself, the way that you think about your ability to reach the goal, the way that you think about doing the things that it takes to reach your goal, the way that you think about these obstacles when they present themselves and your ability to overcome them, the way that you think has so much power. Each of your thoughts, when you're thinking thoughts, and we're always thinking thoughts, each of those thoughts creates a feeling. And our feelings drive our actions. So if you're thinking in a way that generates feelings of love, hope, certainty, motivation, desire, willingness, connection, excitement, determination, and so on, those feelings are going to drive you to take actions that you want to be taking, actions that are going to make your goal a reality. If you're thinking thoughts that create emotions like fear, hopeless, defeat, disbelief, uncertainty, apathy, confusion, doubt, shame, those feelings are going to drive you to avoid taking the action that moves you closer to your goal. Those feelings are going to drive you farther and farther away from your goal. The creation cycle is your thoughts create your feelings drive your actions, and the actions you take create your results. So all of the actions that you take cumulatively create the results that you live in right now. The number on the scale, the condition of your house, how strong and connected your relationships are, your bank account, all of the actions that you have taken cumulatively have added up to create those results that you have. And the creation cycle it's based on cognitive behavioral therapy and based right from the scripture, Romans 12:2. Be transformed, change, be changed, change your results by the renewing of your mind, the way that you think. Isaiah 26:3. He will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is steadfast because he trusts in me. When we keep our mind steadfast on the Lord, we are kept in peace. The way that we think creates that peace in our lives. When we feel peace, we act a whole lot differently than when we feel anxious and worried and scared. And Philippians 4:8 and 9 in the Amplified Version, which I love. Finally, believers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable and worthy of respect, whatever is right and confirmed by God's word, whatever is pure and wholesome, whatever is lovely and brings peace, whatever is admirable and of good repute. If there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think continually on these things. Think continually on these things. Center your mind on them and implant them in your heart. The things which you have learned and received and heard and seen in me, practice these things in daily life, and the God who is the source of peace and well-being will be with you. Think on these things. Isn't that crazy? So what are those negative thoughts that are going to get in the way, and what are the thoughts that you want to think to refute those thoughts, to replace those lies with the truth? So what thoughts, and this is in your workbook, what thoughts will you choose to hold about yourself and your goal? What feelings will those thoughts generate? And this is, I kind of like to start with this. It might be better to start with the actions. So the actions are the how. These are the things that I'm going to do to create my goal. So you could list those in the actions part. What are the feelings that you want driving those actions? And like I started out, desire. I want to create this goal so much that I want to do these how things, this list of things that are going to make it possible for me to achieve this goal. These are the things I want to do. I want to do them from a place of desire. And it can be desire. Sometimes it's just willingness. I'm just willing to do it. Some things we just don't want to do in the moment, but I'm willing to do it because it matters to me. And then you go back to that list of whys. So the things that I want to do, what are the feelings that you want driving those things? And then what are the thoughts that you can think that genuinely generate those emotions? Okay. So, and then the result that you want to create is the goal, to be a woman that moves her body 20 minutes a day, or that loses a certain amount of weight, or that starts a podcast or writes a book, whatever it is. So you have, these are the thoughts that I want to think about myself and my goal. This is the way I'm going to feel when I think those thoughts. These are the actions that I'm going to take from those feelings. And this is the result that I'm going to create in my life. And as you're doing this, it's so helpful because it's really not about the goal. It's not just about walking 20 minutes a day to change your body. It's who are you becoming in the process? I am a woman that takes care of herself. I am a woman that is a good steward of this body that God gave me. I am a woman that chooses what matters most. I am a woman that is persistent, that keeps going even when it's hard. So your identity fuels your consistency. Willpower is going to run out. Your identity keeps you aligned with who you want to be. And so I periodically will do this. I am a woman who, and then I list out all of those things that I want to confirm that are already in me that I want to keep being. And also, what are those things that I'm really working on that I want to be more and more of? And declare these aloud and um, write them often and just embrace that identity, embody that identity of who God created you to be. And then always, 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 this is practice, repetition is so important. So continue to reinforce your goal. My goal is what? To support me. These are the things I'm doing. This is when I'm going to do these things. To remind myself of this goal, I will what? And I write it down every day in my planner, what my goal is, what are the things that are most important to do that day towards my goal. I write down every day, like, why does this matter to me? You can put notes on your phone. You can do reminders on your phone or the screen background. Put a reminder on that. Use Post-it notes. Remind yourself. You want to keep this top of mind all the time. I'm going back because I feel like I left something out and I thought about it and now I can't remember what it was. Hmm. You want to, it's really important. I did totally miss something. It's really important to write this stuff down when you set this goal, to write it down, to say it out loud, to share it with other people. And when you allow yourself to want this thing that you want and to admit it to yourself and to admit it to other people, it engages your reticular activating system. That's what I forgot to talk about. And your reticular activating system is that part of your brain where it notices things that you don't normally notice. So if you decide that you want to buy a blue Toyota 4Runner and you've never had one before and you don't know anybody that has one and you don't really like, you've never even seen one, but for some reason you just decide, I want a blue Toyota 4Runner. And when you make that, just making that decision, you start seeing blue Toyota 4Runners all over the place. And when you allow yourself to desire this thing, to create this goal and think about it and talk about it and write about it, it engages that reticular activating system. And you're going to start hearing things about your goal. You're going to start seeing opportunities that are going to help you to achieve this goal. So you want to declare it. You want to write it down. You want to talk about it. You want to think about it and keep it top of mind. And you're going to see the path to get you closer and closer to that goal as your reticular activating system kicks in. Okay. So you have just created clarity around what you want, why it matters, how to get there, what could get in the way, and who you're becoming in the process of creating this thing. And this is so powerful. And it's just the beginning. Imagine stepping into January already in alignment with who you want to be, already in motion. You have created so much momentum and confidence, and you step into January and you're like, let's just go. Let's just keep going. I don't have to start from scratch because I gave up on things back in October. That's what we're doing here. Ending 2025 with momentum on a high note. So that's where you can start 2026. And I would love to invite you to join me in the last 90 days of 2025 group. It's going to be a private Facebook group. I'm going to be in there a lot doing teachings, reminders, accountability. You can ask questions. We're going to support one another in there. It's going to be fantastic. We'll probably do some group calls too to see to get some accountability and community building. And that is $97. We're starting this first week in October. If you're hearing this later and you're ready to jump in, you can jump in anytime. It's $97. You'll be able to, anything that we do is going to be recorded, so you can go back and watch it. I'll have resources in there. And then you can also upgrade to get some more personal support, or you can upgrade to private coaching where it's just you and me and we can talk about all the things, and you get all of that. The $97, if you do the VIP, you get that. You get the $97. If you do one-on-one coaching, you get anything that I do. So you are invited to join the last 90 days of 2025 group. And there is a link that is in the PDF of the workbook. You can, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. And I would love to see you in there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and doing this work. I would love to hear. Send me a message. What is the goal that you decided to accomplish? Is it a process goal or is it an outcome goal? I would love to hear from you. And if you have questions, send them to me, and it would be amazing if you joined the group. So thank you so much. Have a great day.